Did I startle you this time, Terry?
No, this time it was fine. I was ready for you this time.
Yeah. Last time, right before we came on, Terry had his nose down doing his work with his new glasses on, so he can get some better picks today than we had yesterday. And when I said, "Hey, Terry, how you doing?" He jumped about 6 feet out of that chair. I don't think Terry's jumped that high since he was about 14.
No, I don't think I have either. So it's quiet here. My wife's gone. So
So the cat's away, huh?
yep, that's right. So I'm going to play.
Yes, indeed. Terry's going to be all over the his horse racing account today.
That's it.
I know how those days can be when you're at betting and you're just going from race to race to race to race to race. And it's never a winning way to bet, right? You're just in 30 seconds to post and you're just putting numbers in.
Yeah, it's not. It's actually, I usually do pretty bad when I do that. It's better to pick, a track in the morning, maybe, and a track in the afternoon, maybe one for the evening, and just concentrate on those 3 tracks, at least for me. And then not play everything in there either. Just play what you think's the best play.
So Tom Carley says we should change the name to the show to Lunch is on the Radar. What do you think about that?
That's pretty nice.
Yeah. Or maybe we should say Lunch is on people watching Radar.
Oh.
Instead of us having to buy it, Terry. Well, we're trying to pay for lunch with our picks, but yesterday, I meant to bring this up yesterday. I know that we hit, the first leg, and then Terry hit the third leg, and I missed the third leg. But I was surprised because in the first leg, I think we were talking about this morning line 15-1 hit, I think it was. And then the second leg, I think it was morning line 9-2. And then the third leg was morning line with the one horse, even though the other one scratched, which apparently was the one that the odds maker was basing the odds on. So the one went off at 7-1, although the entry was 5-1. And then in the last leg, the 7 horse, the first time starter was 10-1. So you had a 15-1 over a 9-2, over a 5-1, over a 10-1, and it only paid $425. So it's important to pay attention to the size of those pools when you're doing those sorts of bets. It might be better to, if the pools are larger, to do trifectas than it would be to maybe do a pick 4. So just because we miss a leg doesn't mean that you should just toss those picks out, because there are a lot of exactas and trifectas that are kind of in there residually. That's at least what I've seen.
Yeah, I like to play like doubles, for instance, or if I'm playing a pick 4, sometimes I'll play a couple of pick 3s in there to try to cover my bases, because I might miss one of the legs. So, and then of course exactas and trifectas, like you said.
The rolling pick 3s are always kind of fun. I remember at work, my friends and I would sit down and, okay, so you're responsible for races at like Santa Anita or Gulfstream or wherever the big track was running that day. You're responsible for races 1, 2, and 3. I'll do 4, 5, and 6. You do 7, 8, and 9. And then we would do rolling pick 3s. And you never want to be the guy that killed the rolling pick 3, right? So if you made it through your first 3 races and you were a winner and the other 2 guys messed up, you could always give them the for the rest of the day.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, for sure. That is 100% true. But you know what else is true, Terry? The world is changing, right?
Absolutely.
And with change, sometimes change is good, sometimes change is bad, but I think this is a good change. The Fasig-Tipton Partners with crypto. You can now use cryptocurrency, as our Frisco Bash has mentioned, at the next week's Saratoga sale. So those folks who went out and bought some cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, for $20 10 years ago, now can buy themselves $1 million horse.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not that familiar with it, but I know that there are several cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin is the most popular, as far as I know. And right now, the current price of that is over $38,000.
Terry, I used to work at a futures firm, and I was sitting at a desk, and me and this gentleman, I forget his name off the top of my mind, but we were talking about these cryptocurrencies, specifically about Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin at the time was trading at like $400. Yeah. Had I bought at $400, it's 40,000. If I had bought enough of them, I could go out and buy myself $1 million. I didn't buy any of them, and I feel so stupid for it. But it's water. That water's so far under the bridge, it's all the way down by Tahiti now.
Yeah, I had a friend call me about it who is really good with investments in that, and he was trying to encourage me to buy it. And it was like you were saying, it's somewhere around 200-300. And I kind of looked at it, I thought, no, this isn't going to last. And I told him no. Well, he bought a whole bunch. And of course, he's made bundles of money. And I've always been sorry I didn't listen to his advice.
There's nothing ever wrong with making bundles of money.
No.
I know there's a new era nowadays where having money is apparently taboo, but I don't know that I've ever seen anybody turn down $1 million. I don't care how principled you are. I don't even think Che Guevara would turn down $1 million.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, another positive thing that's happening in the horse racing world is in California, some of the rules that they've put in place, and God, they have a whole lot of them, and they seem like they're growing by the day. 50% decline in horse fatalities, thanks to their new rules in California over the past couple of years. I think that's a positive. That's one of the things I think every horse player can get behind is the safety of the horses and the safety of the jockeys.
Yeah, and one of the things I really liked is that they've got a rule now that allows the official veterinarians to require diagnostic imaging prior to removing a horse from the restricted veterinarians list, and so that they can be permitted to train and compete. I think that's a great rule.
Mm-hmm. I've often thought about that, because I'm always equating horse racing to sports or my pets or other things I'm familiar with. And, I played college. I wrestled in college, right? I played high school football. And in doing so, we always had to go to like the therapy room, right? So if you got your ankle hurt, there would be a doctor or a nurse or a physical therapist that would try to help you get healthy, massage and ice baths. If you've never taken an ice bath, it's got to be the worst thing ever. I hurt my back in wrestling, and it was a tub, and I had to get into the tub fully submerged to like here, and it was like ice and a little bit of water, kind of like when you go to McDonald's and you get a Coke. It's 99.9% ice and the rest is Coke, but it's all. And when you go in there, it's not cold; it burns. It hurts, and it takes you probably about 20 minutes to stop feeling anything. But in any case, if human beings had to go through these tests, I could never understand why a veterinarian couldn't come in and, just kind of feel the horse up a little bit on its knees, and I'm sure that a veterinarian knows exactly how to check a horse specifically for the type of things that would be stressful for it during the race. And if it's got some tenderness and spots that could be dangerous, then, scratch them and let them rest another 2 weeks.
Yeah, I agree with that. I really do. And I like a lot of what they're doing with the new rules and that. So.
Mm-hmm. I'm all for protecting the horses for sure. I think that's going to make the business grow. So Jay Marco says we ice horses' legs before races for 2 to 3 hours prior to the race. That's a good idea. I think that anything to do to protect the horse is a great thing. And then he says, Tom Carley, they can scratch them. It's just cost prohibitive for lower value horses. Yeah, I can see that too. And I can also see, like in California, where they have small fields to begin with, if you scratch a horse or two right before the race, you might not even have a race, right?
Yeah.
So we've seen that quite a bit of times too. But just to give you a sense of how much rules there are, this is the state of California's regulation just for horse racing, California Horse Racing Board. And this thing goes on and on and on and on and on and on. It's like pages after page after page. And these pages are status of pending regulations. So they have a whole sorts of things that are still pending. And it'll be interesting to see what happens, what comes of it. But I am glad that the horses are definitely showing, some of the measures that they're taking are absolutely apparently protecting the horses. Because I've said many, many times, we're in the outcome business. We're not in the intentions business. And if you put rules in and the intent is to, for the horses, to horse safety, and they're not working, then the outcome is useless, right? There's not a positive outcome. But if they're putting rules in and they're actually working, so the intent and the outcomes are matching up, and that's exactly how I feel like laws and regulations should work.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree too. So Tom mentions too that Del Mar has had a great safety record for years. So yeah, I haven't heard much bad news coming out of them. So I don't know, Terry, if we got bad news or good news next, because honestly, I didn't check on it yet. But now it's time for your best bet. How did yesterday's do?
Okay, yesterday my first pick ran fourth, but my second pick won the race, paid $13.40 to win. My third pick ran second and paid $3.20, and the exacta paid $18.70. So you could have boxed the three horses, Mr. Lightning Boy, Highland Park Hero, and Undercover Lover. For dollar box would be $6, and you would have collected $18.70. So that's a pretty good profit margin. So.
Like you say all the time, Terry, where else in the world can you turn 300% profit in a minute and a half?
That's right. That's what I always say.
You certainly can't do that at the bank.
No. You're lucky if you get 0.25%.
Well, the bank can do that to you. It's called a credit card, right? So they can take your money, they can lend it out for 18% and pay you 0.25% on it. That's a hell of a business, boy. Whoever thought up of that model, that's what I tell my wife. I say, I get up in the morning, I work all day damn long, and I put in 12 hours, sometimes, 14, 15 hours in a day. And then when the money comes in, I'm working to pay a bank or the government, and there ain't nothing left for me. So I need some winners.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, it's unfortunately sad, but true. So let's talk about your pick for today, Terry. I know it's at Canterbury Park. We'll have a little bit more of our hot dog and prime rib pick for us for Canterbury Park. And it looks like one of the races we have in the pick for is your bet of the day.
It is, and I did that before I knew we were going to do the Canterbury Park and that middle pick 4. I like in the 7th race. I like number 5, Outer Banks. He's back to the turf and to a distance of his first career win. He also had the highest last race speed rating, and then I like number 8, Wenyan. Has done well this year, finishing 100% of the time in the money and winning 50% of those races. Breeding suggests he will like the grass, and the dam has produced 3 turf winners already. And then number 2, Master Guns, has finished in the money 56% of the time on the grass and has the best turf speed among today's starters.
So hopefully you got the pick 4 horse in there as well. I think I have some of those in my pick 4 too. So,
good.
Here's 2. I think I have the 5 horse. I think I also recognize the name Way In. So I don't know if I have Master Guns. So we'll need the 5 or the 8 to come through. Yep. Let's find out who we have in our Canterbury Downs. They race later on today. I think the first post is 6:30. So you have plenty of time. Unfortunately, or fortunately, it's too early for the scratches to come out. Right. Unfortunate for the folks who might be playing our pick 4s, but fortunate for you and me, because normally like 2 minutes before we're coming on, 5 minutes before we're coming on, we're checking scratches and Terry's shooting me off his new picks and I'm looking and I'm trying to put them in the Excel sheet so I can copy and paste them into Paint to put them on our on our graphics. And a lot of times I'm doing this while we're talking, which is probably why sometimes they're all messed up. But anyway, let's take a look at what we have today in our hot dog pick 4. Terry, let's get cracking in race number 6. And by the way, how do you like the larger font today? I put a bigger font in so we can read them.
Looks great to me. I love it.
All right. Fire away, Terry.
Okay, well, in the first leg on the hot dog pick 4, I like number 3 as my first choice, Hold the Spice, number 1, Edgy Reggie, and number 5, Bobby Boots. And I like the number 1 because he's got a high percentage trainer. The rail post is winning at a 22% clip, and the trainer wins 24% of the time whenever he's got a horse on the 3rd race after a layoff. Also, Edgy Reggie won his last race. And then Hold the Spice, number 3 horse, has the highest race speeding rating in the race, and he has the best turf speed, fastest among today's starters. He had a really sharp workout at Canterbury. 4 furlongs, 47.3 handling. He was the first out of 68 workouts. And then Bobby Boots, number 5, finished in the money both of his races this year, winning the last one that he ran. Then in the second leg, I like number 5, which is my top pick, Outer Banks. Number 8, Wenyan is my second pick, and number 2, Master Guns is my third. And I've talked about these earlier, so I'm not going to
add anything to it. No, not much. All can be said.
That's right. Nothing. So anyway, I did want to say if you have a little bit of extra budget, and you want to add a horse, you could add the number 9 Tequila Time. He drops in class today, and he has a hot trainer in the last 14 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then in my third leg, I like, let's see, the 1 and the 3. The one being my top
pick.
Yeah, top choice.
Mm-hmm.
And he's on the, of course, I said the rail was a 23% win clip. But he drops in class today. The trainer wins 20% of the time when moving down a horse in 2 classes. He finished 3rd versus Tougher in his last race, and his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. And he has a sharp workout on July 27th. And then number 3, Give Me Shade, finished in the money the last 3 races. He's knocking at the door, so or she is. And then in the ninth race, I like the number 5, Criminal Man. He has a highest speed rating today's distance, and he's got a hot trainer the last 14 days, who out of 6 mounts has got 2 wins and a 3rd. And then I like number 7, Smoking Policy. Smoking Policy has a high percent trainer, switches to a high percent jockey. He's also dropping in class today, and he finished 3rd versus harder or tougher horses last out. So my pick would be for the hot dog would be the 1, 3, 5 in the 6th, the 2, 5, 8 in the 7th, the 1, 3 in the 8th, and the 5, 7 in the 9th, which would cost $18.
Mine is also $18. Terry, we have some crossover here. So in the first leg, race number 6, I like the one, Hold the Spice. Third off a layoff, and fractions were significantly improved for the versus the last time it ran 1 mile on the turf. Number 1, Edgy Reggie. Gotta like the name. I'm a name better as well. But when you look at this particular distance, 1 mile on turf, it's 34% of the winners go wire to wire. So I think you have to find somebody that could be speed. According to my pace analysis, the Edgy Reggie, the one horse, could be that pace. And then number 9, Thick Haze, is one of the horses that I think should be coming hardest, the latest. And on top of that, when you just kind of, when you compare speed figures from race to race to race, that horse has got the best numbers over and over and over again. So sometimes, it doesn't look like the best looking horse on paper, but when it has those speed numbers, you got to wonder how those other horses are going to make up 10-point speed differentials. I don't know that they can. In race number 7, I agree with you on your horses, except I added in the number 9. That horse is Tequila Time, because when isn't it Tequila Time, Terry?
I agree with that. Yes.
You got too many tequila stories. I don't even want to get there. But as you mentioned, Tequila Time is dropping in class, and I think it's going to be one of the fastest out of the gates early. Again, you're talking about a 5-furlong turf race where 42% are won wire to wire. So high hit rate. So you got to find horses that are going to be near the front. Your weigh-in horse is improved the last 2, should be better in the 3rd off a layoff. Master of Guns tends to be better in its second race off a layoff. And one of the things I like about Outer Bank, the 5 horse, is it run well twice in the mud and won its only turf start. That tells me this horse absolutely is its preferred surface should be turf. Number 8, the 8th race. I agree with you on the one horse that is Added Diamonds. It's a horse that's on the 23% winning rail, down 2 classes for trainer Bernell Roan, and also has some pretty good workouts in there. Number 9, Runaway Train, another horse that's dropping down 2 classes, 31% winner for the trainer Robertson McLean, and it ran the top last race speed figure. Finally, Adriana Joy is the favorite in the race, another that's down in class, and has, I think, the best works of the horse is in this particular race coming into this spot. In race number 9, I have a horse Terry doesn't have there. So I singled the 2 horse, Joe Jackson. Again, we're looking at 1 mile where you have a 36% win rate going wire to wire. And in my pace analysis, the 2 horse is going to be much quicker than everybody else out of the gate. I think Joe Jackson is capable of getting to the front, running modest fractions, not even that fast. And he also has some of the best late pace figures. So can get out to the front. He can hold horses off. He'll be very difficult to catch and pass, in my opinion. So like Terry, my ticket's $18, going 3x4x3x1 in race 9. Of course, when you get to race 9, you'll be sweating where that 2 horse is your only pick, right? But that's the way you got to find a way to save money on these hot dog pick 4s.
Yep.
Now we're not talking about saving money. We're spending Terry money again. So let's go ahead, Terry, and take a look at the prime rib pick 4.
All right. In the prime rib pick 4 in the 6th race, the first leg, I'm going to take the same 3 horses, the 1, 3, 5. And then in the 7th race, I'm going to take the same 3 horses again, the 2, 5, 8. In the 8th race, I'm going to add the 2, which is Joe Jackson, the one that which is Adrian Joy. And then I'm going to add the 10, which is let's see if I got that right here.
Race number 8.
I'm sorry.
So you add in race number 8, you had the 1 and the 3.
Yeah, and then I'm adding.
So you're adding the 2, the 9, and the 10.
Right. Runaway Train, and then the 10 Reese. So let's see. I like Adriana's Joy because she's dropping the class sharp. She's got a sharp 4 for workout of 47.3, second of 68 horses that day. And then the number 9 has a high percentage trainer, highest last race speed rating, may improve while returning the dirt, drops in class today. The trainer wins 30% of the time after dropping down 2 classes. And then number 10 switches to a high percentage jockey, and it may improve while returning the dirt. He drops in class 2, or she does. And then in the last leg, the 9th race, here's where I added Joe Jackson, number 2.
You added the 2, and you added the 4. Yep.
4, right. And the 2 has the highest last race speed rating. The 4 off 6s has finished 66% of the time in the money this year, and he switches to a high percentage trainer. So that's my.
That's it. My ticket's exactly the same, except in race 9. On top of Joe Jackson, I added 4 off 6s. Terry had mentioned the trainer upgrade to Carl Broberg. It's the first time he was claimed last time out. Broberg wins at 24% with the first time claimers. Every trainer we've talked to, for the most part, says they claim horses with a specific race in mind. This must be the race that Carl Broberg had in mind. Again, I mentioned speed was probably the way to play. Race number 9, I expect off 6s to be the co-pilot behind Joe Jackson. So they should be able to do, hopefully, maybe they can run 1-2 all the way around the track. And then number 5, Simple Man, spelled Cimpl, is the best combo of early and late pace numbers. So it should be close to the front all the way around the track, and then have the late legs necessary to go ahead and bring the prize home if Joe Jackson can't go wire to wire, which is what I'm counting on so that I can win the hot dog pick 4. And I don't really have a prime rib pick 4 here. I really have mine is $4 and Terry's is $96.
Yeah, yours is a Buffalo.
So that wraps up our. Yeah, mine's the Buffalo Burger pick 4 for sure. Between the 2 of mine, you can have it becomes a prime rib if you add them up. So hopefully we can both find horses. Well, we can't win all 4 because you don't have the 2 in the last leg, and I don't have some of those other horses. So perhaps we can both win at least on the prime rib side of things.
That'd be nice. Be very nice.
Yeah, it'd be nice indeed. So Terry and I will be back tomorrow as usual, same time. Don't know what our topics will be, but I do know which track we'll be covering, and that's Evangeline Downs. If you've ever bet at Evangeline Downs, you know that they get some crazy combinations and nice payouts there, and that's why Terry and I decided to go with Evangeline Downs. If there's ever a track that you want us to do, go ahead and fire off an email to me at gtsrichb@gmail.com, or you can hit us up on Twitter or Facebook, as you can see below on the scrolling bar, at Racing Radar. Tell us on Twitter or tell us on Facebook what you'd like for us to cover. If there's a story out there that you've seen that you think is important to horse racing and you want highlighted, let us know. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button down there and hit the bell so that when we go live, you're notified and you can always be up to date with Terry and Rich's hot dog pick fours and prime rib pick fours, along with Terry's best bet of the day that turned $6 into $18 yesterday. What do you think about that, Terry?
That's pretty good. Yeah. I was happy about that yesterday.
So is your bank account, right?
It was.
Your bankroll, for sure.
Give me some money to play today.
Yeah, while the cat's away.
Yeah.
Right where we started the program is where we're finishing. Life is a circle, right? So you kind of end up back up where you started. Yeah. All right. Make sure you head on over to Horse Racing Radar. There will be 3 contests this weekend starting on Friday. The Friday contest is worth $50 to the winner. The Saturday contest, which will be at Saratoga again. Now they got some big stakes races out there, and then I'm not quite sure where Sunday is going to be. But again, $50. Those contests at Horse Racing Radar are absolutely free. You just need to go ahead and make your picks. Compete against Terry and I, and on Saturdays, of course, I'll be telling you what I think about every horse between races, and sometimes Terry is kind enough to join me.
Yep.
All right, folks, until we meet again in 23 hours and 30 minutes from now, as always, good luck at the races.